Hey fellow reefers, welcome to Seymour's Reef. Um, yeah, for those of you that are wondering, that is actually the new channel name. Before it had my full name, Oral Seymour, so if you guys notice in your YouTube notifications that you're getting notified of a new video from Seymour's Reef, yep, that's me. Been a while since I did an update, so I'll go through the changes, the major changes I've made to the display tank. I'll leave the equipment, made a lot of changes to equipment. Dosing pumps, dosing containers, fans, a chiller. I'll leave that for another time. So I'll stick to the display. So without further ado, let's go. Now, one of the first things I did was I took out a lot of rock from the tank. When I started the tank, I think I started with about 75 pounds of live rock, live Bukani rock. In my previous tank, I went with a lot of live rock, probably 60 to 80 pounds, and it was the BRS Reef Saver rock, which is really dense and small, so you need a lot of it for a nice structure. And I made the mistake that a lot of reefers, new reefers made, where, you tend to go for the, rock pile look, or you think you want a lot of rock, especially when the tank is new and you don't have a lot of corals in the tank. So you tend to want to put a lot of rock in. So with this new tank, it's been up since February, I made the mistake of going with a lot of rock. And as my corals slowly started to encrust and grow, I did notice that a lot of rock, and if I left it, it would have looked, just terrible going forward, in my opinion. So on the left side of the tank, I did take out probably 15 pounds. I cut that structure in half. I left the right side of the tank alone for now. I really am probably gonna do the same thing probably in a couple of months. So I did remove all the coral, all that low light coral from that right side of the tank in the bottom. So, in a couple of months, a month, or, a couple of weeks, whenever I'm ready to cut that structure, it won't have any encrusting corals on it. Now you're looking at my rose bubble tip anemone. 2 rose bubble tip anemones. One became 2. Got up one day and it split into 2. I was worried that, the second the baby would walk all over the tank, but thankfully it hasn't. What you're looking at here, it has gotten like half a cube of mysis shrimp out of the water column. I know the fish aren't happy. I don't defrost, I just drop the frozen cube in. So the anemone grabbed it. I don't feed anything, they're doing well, bubbled up. I don't feed the anemone anything, just light and good flow. What you're looking at here is a new addition, a Galaxia coral, and you can see the stinging tentacles coming out. It's really messing with those zoas that's right above it. Look at the crab fell down. So I am trying to find a permanent home for him, but the crabs and the snails keep pushing it around at night. Oh, didn't mess with him. So yeah, that packs, I've heard that Galaxia coral packs one of the most potent stings for coral, so I will find a permanent place for him. Look at my snails and crabs. Now on to the Zoa Garden. Started out with a bunch of different color corals like orange, green, brown, purple, red. But the orange is starting to really become dominant, and it's already taken over a couple of different shades of orange. It's taken over a red. I think whatever this orange has, it is the dominant species of zoa on this rock. So I am going to have to at least frag some of the other zoas so the orange doesn't completely obliterate them, because the green beside it that it's taking over, That's one of my original corals, and I really don't want to lose it, so I'm gonna frag it. But the Zoa Garden is doing well. I absolutely love my Philia Garden. This is my wife's favorite area of the tank. What you're looking at are some hammers, different color hammers, greens, some different color frog spawns. This is basically hammers and frog spawns. The torch is a little off, a gold torch is a little off to the right, lower right, but we did find that hammers and frog spawns generally can live next to each other, touch each other. We did start with small frags and kind of space them out, so in hopes that when they do get big, it'll fill in a nice colorful colony. But the torches packed like a really powerful sting, and they would bother anything, so they're a little bit to themselves on the side. This is a coral that someone brought for me from a dive in Florida. It's next to my I think my blasto and my sun coral. I don't know what it's called. They call it a star. It was given to me as a star coral. I'm looking to give it away. So if there's any reefers in the New York City area who are interested in this coral, or could at least tell me what it is, I'll post my email address in the description. So guys, please let me know what it is. And if you're in New York City area and you want this coral, I can send you more detailed pictures if you email me. First come, first serve, and I'll give it to you because I want that open space on my sand bed, and I really, sorry to say, but this coral really doesn't do it for me. After some really bad experience with SPS, I'm finally getting some SPS to grow in my tank. I think that's a bird's nest and a stylophora right behind it. I did a terrible job of placing these corals as they're too close to each other. There's a mushroom in the back. There is a candy cane to the front, and that's my cold coral right off to the right. I'm gonna have to space these two SPS corals out because they're not even start really growing, and they're already kind of right next to each other. So probably by the next update I'll move these, but finally getting SPS to grow and color up and show polyp extension in my tank, so I'm excited about that. I think I don't exactly know what to chalk it up to. It's probably that the tank just needed to mature a little bit. It's been up since February, so I think it's the right time. Here are just a couple of the many varieties of mushrooms I have thriving in the tank. Never had a problem getting mushrooms to grow. That red mushroom colony comes from the original coral I bought at Petco years ago. I've fragged them a lot over the years and still have a healthy colony. In fact, the last couple months I've been trading a lot with members on Manhattan Reefs, and those are the spoils. I put up a new frag rack in the back. Try to keep it nice and hidden when viewed from the front. It's barely seen. You can see it there, nice and hidden. So I've been trading a lot of frags, and that's where I got my frags from, keeping a frag rack. My Samacora. Oh man, this coral has recovered. It was on its deathbed, and it's recovered. And there's a Montipora next to it. Not sure of its full name. It's a Monty. And below it is my rock flower anemone, who walked over the tank, irritated a bunch of corals, but seems to like that home and has settled in there. So I'm glad he's happy. He's not moving. More mushroom colonies. Neptia coral, more mushrooms, just spot mushrooms, there's a spot everywhere. I just moved him. I just try to fix him. I increased the flow, so that's why his polyps are closed. He's not very happy, but the clownfish, host between him and another coral. So that coral I traded from a reefer. Another reefer, didn't realize it had other frags on it, so I'm just growing it out. Brain coral hasn't grown much in 3 or 4 years, but still looks pretty. Now let me just quickly cover the stocking of the tank. First up is the purple tang, recovering nicely from HLLE. I rescued him from a 20-gallon tank. Tomini tang, hippo tang, really my model citizen fish. Leopard wrasse, who's doing well, doesn't bother anybody. Newest addition is my one-spot foxface. I have my pair of Ocellaris clownfish that host the Gonapora and leather. Flame Angel, I just realized that I haven't seen him in a couple of days, so I am gonna have to go looking for him when I finish making this video. Then I have my copper band butterfly, who's my most finicky eater. Only eats clams and certain brands of mysis that have really fine pieces. Doesn't like the mysis that has jumbo pieces. And sadly, my pair of flasher wrasses jumped probably about a month apart, but both at night, probably got spooked and jumped out of the tank. This is leading me to consider adding a screen top to the tank. Thanks everyone, we've pretty much come to the end of the video. I'll leave you with the fish picking on seaweed. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, anything I missed, something you want to see, please shoot me an email. My email address is below. Or just comment. I try to answer all comments in a timely fashion. Thank you and have a good day.